in this season. Please don't do it.
A witness in here. Is there anybody in Mount Olive this morning that's glad that somebody prayed for you? That while you were out there acting a fool, grandmama was seeking the Lord for you when you couldn't even see him for yourself. I dare you to touch your neighbor and tell a neighbor, pray for me. Keep your mouth off of me. Just pray for me. And it reads in this manner. And when Jesus departed, thence two blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou Son of David, have mercy on us. Crying and saying, Thou Son of David, have mercy. Two blind men. Two blind men. I want to talk to you from this subject this morning, seeing Jesus in a dark situation.
Go ahead.
Seeing Jesus in a dark situation. Brothers and sisters, I do not know what it is like to be blind. For you understand that I've never been blind. But I believe that there are some clear, concise conclusions that we can make about the deficiency of sight. Because brothers and sisters understand that those persons that suffer from blindness, they can still move. Have I got a witness here? They can still move, because understand that just because you lose sight does not mean that you cannot move. But I think that the other thing that is clear about blind people, brothers and sisters, is that because of their blindness, they have movement. They have mobility, but not direction. Because understand, brothers and sisters, that a blind person can move, but they're not sure of where they're going. Because the consequences of being blind, ultimately, brothers and sisters, is a lack of direction. Have I got a witness here? Which means, brothers and sisters, that there are some people, some folk that can see, but they're still blind. Lord have mercy. They can move, but they have no sense of direction. And so it is that I believe this morning that there are some of you here that are just searching and looking to God for some clear direction. Because just maybe, brothers and sisters, you're faced with a challenge or a problem. Now, understand that the problem has not stopped you from moving. But you're not sure at times of where you're going. And you might as well come on, be real with me today, because if you take off that holy disguise for a minute, you can testify that yes, Reverend, I love the Lord. Yes, I love my church. I love my pastor. I love living for you. I try to do my best, but I'm not sure, and I got to do something that occupies my time because I'm not sure of where my life is going. Do I have any help in the room? So, brothers and sisters, can I submit to you that I believe that the greatest attack of the enemy, the greatest attack of the enemy in this day and age is to attack a child of God with no direction. Watch this now, because the devil, Satan, the enemy, understands that many of us have to be the head and the rock of our families. And we have to be able to give leadership in the church, leadership on the job, leadership with our friends and family. And so what the devil will try and attempt to do is not necessarily take your life, but take your direction so that you will hurt yourself in the process because you're blind and possibly take your own life. Such as the discipline discovered in the discourse of Matthew chapter 9. This text will help us have a sense that the Lord is with us even in times of darkness where we have no sense of direction. Interestingly enough, brothers and sisters, if you like the Bible, it ought to have arrested you when you read in this text that two blind men followed Jesus. If you can read the Bible, something ought to punch you when you read that two blind men followed Jesus. Because watch this, it is interesting to note, brothers and sisters, that two men that are only associated with darkness are following behind he who claims to be the light of the world. What are you saying, Sanders? Watch this now. Notice that it is not the case that the light is not shining, but it is the case that these men have no direction and they cannot see the light because of their deficiency of sight. And I think that this is important for us to understand today, brothers and sisters, because what this text wants to presuppose to us is that you can be behind Jesus and still have some moments in life where you don't know where you're going. I wish I had a witness in here. Watch this. Listen, you can be in the church, you can be in ministry, you can be a preacher, you can really live a pretty decent life and still have some moments in life with the Lord where you don't know whether he's taking you. Have I got a witness? Listen, don't look at church folk because church folk have mastered the art of faking it until we make it. Have I got a witness? Listen, church folk will make you think that they something they not, think they got something they don't got. We have mastered the art of faking it until we make it. But some of us can testify that every day we wake up, we don't know where God is taking us. Have I got a witness here? And that's why you got to walk by faith and not by sight. Lord have mercy. Okay, let me see if I can help y'all out. Watch this now. Understand that it is not the question of whether Jesus' light has gone or vanished from your life, but it is the case that there is something defective and deficient inside of you that is not allowing you to see God clearly. Listen, watch this. You got some things in your life right now that have been blocking your view of God for so long, and you just bumping into walls. Have I got a witness in here? But God's simply saying it's time to turn on the lights. Have I got a witness in here? It's time to move that out of the way. In other words, listen, Isaiah said in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. Watch this. Isaiah could not see the Lord until he moved Uzziah out the way. What are you saying, Sandra? I'm saying to you, it's time for you to move some folk out of your life. Have I got a witness in here? It's some folk that mean you no good. It's some folk that been tearing your life down and blocking God from your blessing all this time. But God simply saying it's time to move it out of the way. Touch your neighbor for the first time this morning and tell your neighbor, move it out of the way. Okay, watch this. The text says that two blind men followed Jesus.
Doctor, you own it, man.
Your question to me this morning is, Sanders, how does two blind men follow Jesus? Okay, Mount Olive, I got an even better question for you. Because the thing that interests me about the text is not the fact that two blind men are following Jesus. The thing that interests me about the text is, how did the two blind men even find each other? Lord have mercy. Okay, here it is. The text is tailored to teach us this morning that when you're walking in a dark situation, the first thing you need to do is examine your partnerships. Lord have mercy. This will preach itself. Listen, the text clearly says, and it clearly wants to suggest to us that these men are blind. Am I right about it? Which means that they can't even see each other, let alone see Jesus. Okay, here it is. But they are associated with each other because of their mutual defects. And the thing that I think I ought to tell somebody in here this morning is that you got to be careful who you connect yourself to, because who you connect yourself to may reveal what's really wrong with you. Oh, Lord have mercy. You watch this now. What do you mean, Sanders? You got to be careful who you partner with, because who you partner with will reveal what's defective in your own life. And I don't know about you, but I got too much that's wrong with me to be letting somebody else who messed up be trying to lead me to the light. And I got a witness in here. But I don't need somebody that's blind like I'm blind when I'm in a dark situation. But I need somebody that can see when I can't see for myself and direct me into an area of change. Touch your neighbor and tell them, neighbor, I thought you was a real friend. Watch this now. That's why, brothers and sisters, homosexuals hang around other homosexuals. That's why lesbians hang around other lesbians. That's why players, you don't see a player hanging around a bunch of married folk. We're too busy worried about playing. Have I got a witness in here? Because they carry the same kindred spirit. And the thing, what do you mean, Sanders? The thing I think I ought to tell you is, have you ever seen two messed up, two jacked up individuals, and you sitting up there scratching your head thinking, look, how did y'all even become cool? I didn't even know y'all knew each other. But watch this now. That's because when spirit identifies spirit, you begin to hook up and connect yourself to people who got the same problem as you. In other words, they broke and you lazy. They nasty, you up, Lord. Come on and get in here this morning. You got to watch out who you hook up with. Watch this. Listen, if you want a real friend, brothers and sisters, watch this now. Jesus asked a question, a very important question to his disciples. His disciples was around him, and he asked a very important question. He said, listen, can the blind lead the blind?
Come on, Chuck.
Except they both fall in the ditch. In other words, Jesus simply saying, you sitting up here taking relationship advice and this floozy, and she's been in 17 different relationships in the last 7 days. Can the blind lead the blind?
You better watch out.
Preach, God.
You better preach now.
Listen, if you want a real friend, I'm going to give you the real friend test. You need a friend that can check you and cover you at the same time. Lord have mercy. Y'all got to come on and get rid of this one. Listen, because you don't just need somebody that's going to confirm your conclusions and comfort what's wrong with you, but you need somebody that can check you about your problem and then love you in spite of it. Lord have mercy. I dare you to touch somebody and tell them, neighbor, you ain't real. You ain't real.
Watch out now.
So watch this now. When you're walking in a dark situation, the first thing you need to do is examine your partnerships, because your partnerships, understand, may be a reason as to why you're still blind. Because brothers and sisters, can I suggest to you this morning that you will remain in darkness anytime you hang around folk that's blind themselves. Haven't got a witness in here. But the second thing that you need to do is that when you're in a dark situation, is not only examine your partnerships, but secondly, you need to engage on the divine path. Okay, listen. Don't ask me nothing. Watch the text. The text says, they followed Jesus. Two blind men followed Jesus blind. Okay, y'all missed that. The text says that these two blind men followed Jesus blind. Text says that they followed Jesus blind, and they say to him, Son of David, have mercy on us. But wait, church, watch this. They followed Jesus all the way into a house. And watch this. Jesus does not respond to their request until he gets them in the house. Which means, brothers and sisters, that the men had to follow Jesus for a while until he got them into a house where he finally answered to they respond. Okay, Sanders, why do we have to engage on the divine path? Because, brothers and sisters, can I tell you that I've discovered that sometimes engaging on the divine path means that you got to entrust your life into the hands of somebody that can see Jesus. Lord have mercy. Watch this. It's no way that these two blind men could even get to Jesus unless they were connected to somebody along the way who could see Jesus for themselves. Let me help you out. One of the reasons why you are in your faith with the Lord right now is not because you got the Holy Ghost alone.
Watch out, son. Watch out.
Listen, you can act like you've been saved your whole life and carry that big Bible, but you can testify that there were some times you didn't know where to go, which way to turn. You couldn't see in front of you, and you had to connect yourself to somebody who had enough sense to tell you about the Lord along the way. Have I got a witness in here? And I don't know about you, but I'm so glad for the folk that prayed for me along the way. Have I got a witness in here? Is there anybody in Mount Olive this morning that's glad that somebody prayed for you? That while you were out there acting a fool, grandmama was seeking the Lord for you when you couldn't even see him for yourself. I think you to touch your neighbor and tell a neighbor, pray for me. Keep your mouth off of me. Just pray for me. Watch this. When you engage on a divine path, sometimes in the darkness, I'm almost finished. Sometimes in the darkness, you have to understand that the darkness is a waiting period. Lord have mercy. It's a waiting period where Jesus wants to exercise your patience. And so understand that when it is that you are in the darkness, you have to examine your partnerships, you have to engage on a divine path, but you also have to understand that when you're in a dark situation, it is an exercise of your patience. What do you mean, Sanders? Notice in the text, two blind men follow Jesus to a house. And in following Jesus, Jesus says absolutely nothing to them while on the journey. Lord have mercy. Which means, brothers and sisters, that waiting according to this text means that sometimes you're going to have to walk without a word. Lord have mercy. Let me help you out. Sometimes, brothers and sisters, when God got you waiting, you got to walk with him when he ain't talking to you. Lord. Watch this now. Because you got to understand that there are times in life when the word, when you can listen to every preacher in the city and the word won't have a word for you. But the good news is that the Bible says that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. I wish I had a witness in here that can touch somebody and tell them, I don't need you to tell me everything going to be all right. I just need to wait on the Lord.
Preach, Dr. Simon.
Watch this. I'm going to try to help y'all out the best way I can because I'm looking airy this morning. But watch this. Those of you that are in school, raise your hand. Okay. Y'all just had what's called exams. Am I right about it? Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you what happened in your exam. I wasn't there. As a matter of fact, I worked third shift. I probably was at home asleep on the pillow somewhere.
That's right.
But I'm going to tell you exactly what happened at your exam. The teacher, he or she walked into the room, slapped the test on your desk, and stopped talking to you. Y'all missed that. Okay, watch this. They were there the whole time, watching you sweat, watching you agonize for the answer, watching you try to look at everybody else's answers and try to find a way. And they were there the whole time, watching you sweat in your seat when they had the answer all along. Okay, let me pull you off the pew to let you know this morning that if God ain't talking to you, it could be that it's just testing you. Lord have mercy. And watch this now. It's not that he's left you because he's there the whole time. He's just trying to pull out of you what he put into you. Have I got a witness in here? In other words, he's just trying to see if he can put that prayer life out of you that he put into you. riches out of you that he put into you. That weeping may endure for the night, but joy is coming in the morning. Okay. Okay, so I've discovered, brothers and sisters, that God will make you wait. He will be there the whole time and won't say a word to you. Because watch this, the teacher never talks during testing time. Lord have mercy, that's a word for somebody this morning. The teacher never talks during testing time because the test is to pull out of you what he put into you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, watch this. If you are in a dark situation, I've discovered that God wants to see what kind of faith you really have. And when he wants to find this out,
Watch out, preacher.
he will stop talking to you. And you will just have to trust whose hand you're holding on to. But watch this text. Watch the text, church. There is two blind men walking behind Jesus, and he doesn't talk to them until he gets them in the house. The history of this text suggests that this is Jesus' little headquarters in his ministry in Capernaum. And Jesus, watch this now, is familiar with the house.
That's right.
That he's in. But watch this now. The blind men, Brother Johnson, are not familiar with the house. And when they get in the house, church, that's when Jesus finally opens his mouth and answers them. And then he asks them, after he gets them in the house, where they don't know where they are, he asks them a very important question. He says, do you believe that I'm able to do this?
That's right.
Now, I think this would suggest that this is a strategic question that he asks, because if you know anything about blind people, brothers and sisters, you know that the worst thing you can do to a blind person is rearrange their furniture. Okay, watch this. Here it is. Jesus waits until he gets blind men in a house where they are unfamiliar with the placement of the furniture, and then questions their belief. Why, Sanders? Because can I tell you, brothers and sisters, that your belief is not valid until he gets you into a place where you're out of control. Lord have mercy. And let's be real this morning. I got about 50 of y'all in this church this morning that came here simply because you got to a place in life where your life was out of control. Have I got a witness here? And if you really be real, you can believe that you can do all things through Christ right now, who strengthens you. But the reality is that mindset didn't come easy. Have I got a witness here? That mindset came through many dangers, toils, and snares along the way. Watch this now. You used to know where everything was at. You used to know where everybody was at. You used to have some people that you could run to when you got in trouble. But God's simply saying, listen, now that I move some things around, now that I move some folk out of your direction, you can't no longer call on them. Because I want you to know that I don't need you depending on folk that's going to thin out when times get thick. But I need you to know that the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. Is there anybody here this morning that can testify that I don't care about the rock, I don't care about baby daddy, child support, whatever? It's been the Lord that's been taking care of me this far, and it's going to be the Lord that's going to lead me on. And I got a witness of it. Oh, y'all might as well come on and get real this morning. If you know that the Lord been taking care of you thus far, it ain't been the government, it ain't been welfare, it ain't been food stamps, but it's been the Lord. That you hear the psalmist say, I've been young and old. Man, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. Well, brothers and sisters,
Watch out, Dr. Sanders.
after you examine your partnership, after you engage in a divine path, after you exercise your patience, now you have to expand your perspective. What do you mean, Sandra? Listen, I'm telling you that you got to believe the Lord in an unfamiliar place.
Yeah.
You didn't get that. Watch this, church. The two blind men say to Jesus, he asked them, do you believe that I'm able to do this?
Yeah.
They respond back to him and say, yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Now, if you can read the Bible, you will recognize that their response to Jesus, that these two blind men are now ready for a miracle. Because there has been a progression of divine revelation in the text. What do you mean? Watch this. When they first talked to Jesus, they first called him what? Somebody tell me this. What did they first call Jesus when they first met him in this text?
Son of David.
It said, thou son of David, have mercy on us.
Yeah.
But when Jesus questioned them, he said, do you believe that I am?
Yeah. Man.
Okay. Which is his historical title.
Yeah. That's right.
When the children of Israel, brothers and sisters, were in Egyptian slavery, he introduced himself as the I am.
Yeah.
But when they responded, watch this now, when the two blind men responded to him, they said, yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
Okay, watch this. In other words, brothers and sisters, what I've come to tell you this morning is that when you're in a dark situation, you need to care not about his political and his historical title and stop being so family and simply get personal and say, Lord, I need you to help me out. Lord, I'm getting ready to walk out on this Negro. I can't take it no more. I'm getting ready to throw him ahead. Lord, I need you to help me. Is there anybody here who can testify that I don't care about everything else that he's called? I don't care about Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah who your mama. But all I need to know is that the Lord, I need you. Never got a witness at all. I have discovered that when you're ready for God to do something supernatural in your life, you need to graduate in your view of God that he's just not your king that you serve and worship on Sunday, but he's your God to get some things done in your house Monday through Saturday.
Come on, help on that.
Watch this now. Watch this now. Now, I thought that this was interesting to note because, brothers and sisters, they go from son of David to I am to Lord. And the text says that when he got a yes, Lord, out of them. The text says that when he got a yes, Lord, out of them. The text says that Jesus touched their eyes. Let me try this again. The text says that when Jesus got a yes, Lord, out of them, he touched that which was not working.
Yes, sir.
Let me hit y'all miss that again. The text says that when he got a yes, Lord, out of him, he touched the very thing that was not working. What are you saying, Sanders? I just asked you to ask yourself, what would God do for you if you just said yes to him in a dark situation? In other words, Lord, I don't know you're going to do it, but yes, Lord. Lord, it don't look good, but yes, Lord. I'm tired of working this job, but yes, Lord. I'm tired of dealing with these Negroes, but yes, Lord. I'm tired of going home to a village house, but yes, Lord. And watch him turn it around. The text says, when he got a yes, Lord, out of him, he touched the very thing that was not working.
That wasn't working. Come on, doctor.
Okay, brothers and sisters. After you engage on a divine path, after you have examined your partner, after, brothers and sisters, you have exercised your patience,
yes, Lord.
after you have expanded your perspective, you must then, brothers and sisters, extend forth some praise. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Watch this now. The text says, Jesus told them, don't say nothing to nobody.
That's what he told them, doctor.
He said, don't say nothing. Listen, when y'all read the Bible, don't try and change the Bible he said, don't say nothing to nobody. The first thing these Negroes did is go home, put it on Facebook, Twitter, internet, called everybody, text everybody, phone message, SMS message. Hey dog, I'm here. I can sue. Jesus said, don't do it. And watch this now. They didn't just tell one person, but the text says they told the whole country. It was on the newspaper, it was on the radio, they sent out emails. But I had to ask myself when I was looking at this text, Jesus told them, don't say anything. So I had to ask myself, Lord, how does a blind person that can see now hide the fact that he can see?
Well,
I mean, what you want him to do? Walk around and bump in the walls? Oh, but watch this now. I saw an extendment of praise because watch this now. Even though they did what Jesus told them not to, they still could see. Watch this. They still could see, and because they could see, they made sure that they told everybody along the way how good God had been to them. And I wish I had about 35 of y'all in here that could testify and say, listen, I ain't come to church to be cute this morning. I ain't come to get a bunch of glory, but I just came to tell you that the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. Well, brothers and sisters, I got to leave you here now. The clock on the wall says that's all. See you later. Alligator.
Come on, dog. And
After a while, cracker down.
come on, preacher.
Can I leave tonight? When I tell you that you got to extend for some praise. And I got a witness here. You need to tell somebody what good things the Lord has done. And I got a witness here. You need to remind yourself that the psalmist said, weeping may endure for the night, but joy will come in the morning. Is there anybody here in Mount Island this morning that can testify like the hymnologist? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I thank God I now can see. Can't you see? Can't you see? I said, can't you see? These two blind men go down the road, whipping up holy hands. Can't you see? These two blind men telling these folk about the goodness of the Lord. And I need you to help me close. Help me close. Grab somebody across the aisle. Grab y'all. Don't look at me. Grab somebody that don't look like they want to have church. Grab somebody that don't look like they want to have fun. But grab y'all and shake their hand and say, neighbor, I don't know. With God, I don't know. It's not working. But whatever it is, tell them be not dismayed. Whatever may betide. Take care of you. Anybody here know that God Anybody here can testify that you've been down and you've been out, and like the devil had you in the dark, he should have killed you. And now you can see what good things the Lord has done. What did he do, Sanders? One Friday, where the hill crossed Calvary, laid his hands and laid his feet, gave up the ghost, and he died. Touch your neighbor and say he died. Anybody know he died? But that ain't the end of the story. Sunday morning, Sunday morning, he got up and I heard him say, all power. Somebody say, all power is in my hand.
do it without me. You got to tell them for yourself. Lord, whatever you do.